Who are the top 10 QBs heading into 2020 fantasy football? You know Lamar's on the list. You see it right here. I'm going to do the top 10. Let's get to it. Top 5 running back. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. Lamar Jackson had an amazing 2019 fantasy football season. 31-27 passing, he could improve on that by a mile in 2020 if he stays healthy. 36 TDs, he could probably even at least replicate that, but maybe improve upon that. Only one 300-yard passing game, 1,206 yards rushing on 176 attempts. That's 6.9 yards a pop. Computer, how many rushing yards does Lamar Jackson have?
In 15 games this season, Lamar Jackson has rushed for 1,213 yards.
Damn it, that's good. 7 rushing TDs, 43 total TDs if you add those running and passing TDs together. Computer, how good is Lamar Jackson?
Coach John Harbaugh has ruled out Jackson for Sunday's game against the Steelers.
Damn it! I have a feeling any decrease in the rushing stats will be made up for in the passing game in 2020. So I think he could easily replicate this exact total point type of season in 2020. It just might shift over from rushing to passing, passing to rushing. I just feel like 31-27 in the air is not that much for Lamar Jackson. He could easily become a better passer than that. Give him 42, 43 total TDs in 2020. I chalk him up to 3,500 total yards if you include the rushing and the passing. And again, 43 total TDs. He's the number 1 fantasy QB in 2020. Not that Pat Mahomes can't be argued. I think Pat Mahomes is going to get pushed down too far in a lot of early 2020 mock drafts. It's going to be Lamar in the first round. If you think that's crazy, just wait until it happens. If you're a I won't draft a QB early person, that is okay. But I hate to break the news to you, about half of the human population is going to be on board taking Lamar in the first round in 2020. Live with it. If you don't like it, then be happy that another non-QB is going to fall deeper into the draft. I love that people think it's wrong. It's not wrong. There is more than one way to win in fantasy football. You can build a winning team drafting Lamar in the first round. You can build a winning team trying to find the next Lamar in the later rounds. Get over it. Pat Mahomes, 38-57 through the air, only 25 passing TDs. He only had 4 INTs. 2 rushing touchdowns, 197 on the ground. The guy had 5,097 yards and 50 TDs in 2018. He missed games in 2019, but he still didn't have quite the same year at all, even when on the field. He is easily capable of being just as good as Lamar Jackson and being just as valuable. And I think had he not got hurt, he still wouldn't have finished with the same stats he had in 2019. But I think that he easily could be a 45 TD, total TD QB in 2020. And I'm all about taking Pat Mahomes in at least a couple leagues in the late second round, early third if I can get away with it. Don't take him any higher than you have to. Don't take him outside of his ADP. Average draft position is there for a reason. Using my rankings at sleeperu.com is one thing. You use that to guide you, but if you don't use that in conjunction with ADP data, you are missing the boat on how to maximize every pick in your draft. I might have Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson both in my top 10 overall, but you don't take Pat Mahomes in the top 10 if ADP dictates that you don't even need to go near top 10 value. Learn to use rankings with ADP. Maximize value at every single pick. Deshaun Watson, 38-52 through the air with 26 TDs, 12 INTs, 3 300-plus yard games. He also had 413 on the ground and 7 TDs on the ground. So 33 total TDs. I think Deshaun Watson's easily capable of 37 to 40 total TDs in 2020. I know that's a lot of TDs to toss out prediction-wise for 3 QBs heading into 2020. But I do believe in 2020, if you own Deshaun Watson, Pat Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson, you do have a clear advantage over the other QBs in the QB pool. Aside from Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray, I really believe there is going to be some distance between the top 3/4 and the rest of the player pool at the QB position in 2020. So I think value-wise, Deshaun Watson will be worth a third rounder, but you may not have to pay that. If you can pay fourth round value, I love the idea of waiting on a QB in terms of getting Watson in that fourth round. I really like Lamar, Mahomes, and Watson, given their values, given Lamar is going to be really high. Mahomes is going to be still rather high, I imagine, second round. And then Watson's going to flirt in the mid third round range because they're spaced out a little bit in ADP data, or will be in ADP data. I think there are pros and cons to going with Jackson or Mahomes or Watson, given that they trickle through that top 3 round range. Wilson in the 4th or 5th round would be a steal. Maybe he goes higher, maybe he goes later. Kyler Murray, will he be a guy that climbs from 4th, 5th round value into the 3rd as you head into August because people start feeling that this guy could be the next Lamar? Or will he be a 4th, 5th, or a 6th rounder? We don't know. ADP data has not settled. It hasn't even been created yet for 2020. We can only guess. We can only speculate. I can only do my double confirmation mock drafts, which produce a really, really good feel of what an ADP would look like right now. And my guess is, based on the mock drafting we've done, Wilson, Murray, these guys won't sniff the top 3 rounds in 2020 redraft leagues. In Dynasty, it might be a little different. Russell Wilson had a great 2019, 38-77, 29 passing TDs, only 5 INTs. He had 313 on the ground and 3 additional TDs on the ground. So 32 total scores, kind of falls in line with other years. He had 35 TDs in 2018 though. The dude is only 31 years old. He's got another 6, maybe 7 years left before we start talking about a decline. Kyler Murray, what a great year he had for a rookie. 33-97 through the air, 18 passing TDs. He did have 10 INTs, but for a rookie, 18 and 10 is a pretty good ratio for a rookie. 4 300-yard games. 91 rushes for 544 yards and 4 TDs. So he had a total of 22 TDs and 10 interceptions. Let's put something into perspective. Lamar Jackson just finished his 2nd year. His first year, 1,200 yards passing, 6 TDs, 3 INTs, 16 games. He did have 695 and 5 on the ground, but his 2018 season didn't telegraph what was going to happen in 2019. That's why a lot of people missed the boat on Lamar. So to see the upside of Kyler in his rookie year, in an offense that is built for him, he could be the next Lamar Jackson. Even though I don't think Kyler will be as good as Lamar was this year, I can't tell you that he won't be either. The upside is there, the talent is there, the tools and receivers are there, the running backs are there, the offense is catered around his skill set. If there is a Lamar Jackson hiding in the 2020 QB pool, it's probably Kyler Murray. And in Dynasty, you might rank him in the 3 to 4 range. In redraft, I think this order feels pretty damn good. The 6 through 10 are going to go right here, and I do anticipate some. Where the hell is this guy? Why the hell is that guy high? Why do you have this guy at all in your top 10? I expect that in the 6 through 10 right here. But this right here looks fantastic. Give me Dak Prescott at number 6. The offense is loaded with weapons. Yes, they need to revamp the offense heading into 2020. They will. The weapons are there. Dak will produce. Mari Cooper, Gallup's going to evolve and become even better. I like this offense a lot, and I think they're going to score a ton of points in 2020. Aaron Rodgers, you could rip on this all you want. He's only 36 years old. Yes, I worry about that offense kind of doing what they did in 2019, which is run more, not pass a ton. But as we've seen with Drew Brees kind of vanishing years past, and the Saints go run heavy, the Saints go pass heavy, I think Aaron Rodgers could definitely rebound to top 6, top 5 QB form, but don't draft him any higher than you have to. My guess is you could even get him later than 7 or 8 for QBs. Maybe not. We'll see how the ADP data shakes out in the coming months as we collect it. But Aaron Rodgers, easily worth a 7 to 10 pick for me, because I like Allen, I like Wentz, I like Daniel Jones, but out of all those guys, Rodgers has the most potential ceiling value. Allen in 2018, Allen was on my bold prediction list to say that after 1 year, he would start looking like a top 5 to 10 QB, and he absolutely does look the part, and he will only get better. Carson Wentz, I worry about some injury risk with him, but potential, skill, Offense, I think he deserves to be in the 9 to 12 conversation, as does Daniel Jones, who is phenomenal as a rookie and has all kinds of weapons around him. Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, and Kyler Murray, all three of these guys are those potential, I think, gems in the QB pool that could be the next breakout QB. Kyler Murray is the obvious choice and has the most ceiling, though. Who's in your top 10? Post a comment below. Tell me what you think. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends. And don't forget about the 96 team league. Watch the promo right here. Do you want in on this league? Check it out. I'll be giving away seats all December and January long. We draft the day of the NFL Super Bowl. 96 teams, 8 copies of every player in the player pool. Watch the promo now. I give you the Fantasy Showdown. If you thought the Throne League was big, you ain't seen nothing yet. 96 owners in this league. I'm putting 8 copies of each player into the player pool, which means your team will look just like a team in a 12-team league. The winner of this league is going to get an Amazon Fire 7. 8 times 12 is 96. If you throw 8 copies of every player into the player pool, each round will have 96 picks in it. I know that sounds crazy, but when you think about it, Christian McCaffrey will essentially dominate the first 8 picks. The draft hasn't happened yet. This is a graphic to show what it would look like, but this would be not even half of the first round. There's 96 picks in each round. This would not even be half of that first round. Look at how McCaffrey's going to dominate the early picks. Cook, Elliott. You're essentially looking at a combination of McCaffrey, Zeke, Barkley, Cook going from picks 1 through 32. It won't be until pick 33, 34, 35 you start seeing other names get into the mix. It's a total point race. You can't do a playoff with this kind of thing. A long draft with a 3-hour timer. The timer will be off at night. It's a redraft league. We will redraft this each year. Scoring will be standard PPR. There might be a slight change in the QB scoring. Here is another twist to this. 3 bench spots. You only get 3 bench spots, which adds a dynamic of strategy that is going to make this league the most fun league ever assembled. There will be so much strategy involved in, hey, do I take this player? He's going to share the same buy as that player. With only 3 bench spots, I need to worry about who I'm going to cut each week when I make pickups. Here's another twist. No waiver wire order. Always first come, first serve waivers. Always. There is literally no commission that will be needed by me in this league. It's always first come, first serve, which means this league will be the most active league you've ever been involved in, because you can pick up a player whenever you want. Did I mention 8 copies of every player? There will be 8 Christian McCaffreys available to draft in this league. The one caveat, you can only own 1 copy of any individual player. You can't have 2 Christian McCaffreys, but 8 Christian McCaffreys will exist in this fantasy football pimp land. You're all going to be pimps. I'm anointing you. I'm anointing all of you pimps temporarily while you're in this league. And who's going to win? Who's going to be the top pimp in this league? Your team will look the same as it would in a 12-man league. I'll be giving away seats to my community, of course, but I'm going to allot a certain number of seats to give away to other fantasy page communities. How do you get a seat for your people? If you are a fantasy page, you know the drill. Make a case in your stories that you want seats for your community. If you want your community in, not only will you get a seat as the page owner, the leader of your crew, your community, but I'll give a certain number, I'm not sure yet how many, but a certain number of seats to those community leaders. So for example, Bob has this fantasy page. I give Bob a seat and 2 or 3 to give away to his community. He can do what he wants to give those away, create buzz, recruit people, but represent your community in this league. The Fantasy Football Show community, I will be giving a large portion of seats to. The Fantasy Football Showdown, Battle of the Pimps, man. Get ready. It's going to be the biggest league you've ever seen in Instagram or across YouTube or anywhere. This draft is going to be insane. 8 copies of every player is insane. Who will be the last pimp Who will be the last pimp standing at the end of this league? Who will have the most total points at the end of this league? Who's going to have the best strategy and approach when you only have 3 bench spots? And you've got to do a cycle of dropping and adding all season long. Fantasy pages, if you want in, make some noise. Post a video on your story. Show me that your community wants in. Not only will you get a spot, I will give a handful of spots for you to give away to your people in your community. And don't get all butthurt if you don't get in. There will only be so many spots to give away. Yes, 96 is a lot. But when I'm trying to give them away to communities and batches, there's a chance you won't get in. Not everybody can play in this league. So if you want to get in, don't ask and complain in a DM or in a comment. Show me. Have your community show me. Be loud. If you're not loud, why the hell would I let you in? Get to work. If you're in my community, let me know down below in the comments if you want in. I will not be choosing from the comments. I will be coming up with a process. Don't you worry. When does the draft begin, you ask? Honestly, probably really soon after the 2019 season ends. It's probably going to be the day after the NFL Super Bowl. We will kick this draft off. Oh, is that too early for you? Are you worried about injuries? The same injuries that anybody could face? Well, then maybe this isn't a league for you. Put your big boy pants on and buckle up. I don't care if we're drafting early. You don't have to be in the league if you don't want to be in the league. So don't complain about the timing. Don't complain about things being too early. I don't shut down at the Fantasy Football Show. There is no off season for me. There's no off season for you if you follow my stuff. Get ready, this will be the biggest freaking fantasy league on the planet. Everybody's going to want a seat in this league. And if your fantasy page that you follow isn't getting active with this and trying to secure you a couple spots to give away within your community, get on them right now. Let them know, I want to be in the Fantasy Football Showdown. And tell your fantasy page you want to see them in the Fantasy Football Showdown. This league is going to be crazy. Did I mention prizes? The winner of this league is going to get an Amazon Fire 7. Don't think for a second that other prizes won't emerge, but I'm giving away this to the winner. Get your pages ready. If you're part of my community, get ready. Comment below. Tell me how excited you are to get in this league. I can't wait. The Fantasy Showdown. Let's do it.